everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Hope you've been having a pleasant week. It is Hump Day, and the past two we have gone on the Panini Golden Age hunt, which was absolutely a fun thing. I do have another random set of Panini nonsense off to the side there, but for this Wednesday, we're going back to the 1800s. Another box of the historic autographs. 1800s. This is box number 3. Whoops. Pardon me. We had a malfunction. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Hope you've been having a pleasant week. Happy Hump Day, by the way. The past two Wednesdays, we took a look at the Panini Golden Age Hobby Box, which was a fantastic set. A lot of fun. I do have another box of some more Panini miscellanea off to the side there. But this Hump Day, we're going back to the 1800s, the historic autographs. The 1800s, this is box number 3 of 4 that I have, and we have had some awesome fun, awesome hits. That is the box. And then we'll keep that there because there is some semblance of odds. Where is our holiday pack? That one we do last because that has the 2 in there. Contents, 3 cards. There's something thick. Oh, this has been a fun set. And we'll go in, and I know we've seen a lot of them, so the ones we've seen a good amount of, we will kind of gloss over because there's a lot of information. And let's see what we got. We did get this guy right here before, Samuel Morse, inventor of the telegraph. And starting right off with a numbered out of 25. And that's the crazy thing, is the base sets are the print runs of $2.99 here, as you can see on the back of Thomas Edison, the Wizard of Menlo Park. And right behind him, actually buried not far from where I am right now in Mount Hope Cemetery, Frederick Douglass, and we have not seen him yet. And like I say, as you can see, the base runs are a print run of $2.99. Frederick Douglass, 1818 to 1895, born Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey, was an American social reformer, abolitionist, orator, writer, and statesman. He was born a slave, but as a child secretly learned how to read and write. In 1838, he escaped from his abusive master, fled to Philadelphia, and eventually settled in Massachusetts with his wife. Excuse me. He became a preacher and abolitionist, speaking both in the U.S. and abroad. He also argued for women's rights, working primarily with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. He consulted with Presidents Lincoln and Johnson on the rights and welfare of former slaves and continued to be active in civil rights following the Civil War until his death in 1895. Douglass is the first person to receive a vote in a major political party's roll call in 1888. See that? Little factoid I actually did not know. And that is fascinating. And I know he was quite involved. I guess when he died, I think he was in... God, these are hard to open. I think he was in Washington, D.C. when he died, but ended up being put on a train back here, like I say, to Rochester, because he and Susan B. Anthony are buried in the same cemetery, Mount Hope Cemetery, right by the University of Rochester. Ooh, we got, there's our hit, so we'll put that one later. We had that one last time. It was the Christmas Optichrome. Last time it was I think it was the History of the Christmas Wreath, if I remember. But that's going to be fun, so we'll save that until the end. Samuel Colt, inventor of, inventor of the revolver, I guess you would say. Yep, inventor who invented and patented the first practical revolver. I knew he had patented it, but I couldn't remember if he had invented it or not. The impossible gun that could shoot 5 or 6 times without reloading. That changed everything. Colt's focus was to produce firearms with interchangeable parts, thus making them quicker to manufacture and easier to repair. Unfortunately, his first company failed due to design and financial missteps, but Colt was able to finance a new company with his designs for waterproof gun cartridges made of tinfoil rather than paper. Interesting. Underwater telegraph cables, copper-coated with tar, and a new revolver design that was used with great success by the Texas Rangers. This design led to the 1851 Navy revolver and the 1860 Army, both widely adopted and successful, especially the 1860 Army. Samuel Colt passed away in 1862, but the company he started still exists to this day, with guns such as the 1871 Single Action Army Peacemaker and CMC's version of the M1911 semi-automatic pistol and M16 automatic rifle becoming legendary. And that is absolutely true. Charles Goodyear we have seen before, and that is a print run of 99, so a much shorter print. That'll go up there. And Francis Scott Key, the composer of the Star-Spangled Banner. I don't know if we saw him, but just in case. Was the lawyer and poet who wrote the lyrics to the Star-Spangled Banner. Funny enough, yes, lyrics. The tune, from what I remember in my history, the tune of America's national anthem is a British drinking song. That's all I'm saying. During the War of 1812 and 1814, he had seen the British bombardment of Fort McHenry and was inspired by seeing that the American flag was still flying over the fort at dawn. He wrote a poem, Defense of Fort McHenry, which was published with a suggested tune of John Stafford Smith's popular song, To Anacreon in Heaven. Okay, yeah, so drinking song. The poem and tune became known as the Star-Spangled Banner, an unofficial national anthem. It became the official national anthem in 1931. Okay. Key was a lawyer in Maryland for 40 years. He served as district attorney for the District of Columbia from 1833 to 1841. Publicly criticized slavery and gave free legal representation to some slaves seeking freedom, but he had 8 slaves at the time of his death. Then, in that hour of deliverance, my heart spoke. Does not such a country and such defenders of their country deserve a song? Francis Scott Key. I think he was actually traded for some American civilians that the British had captured, if I remember my readings of the Battle of Fort McHenry. And he was sent out to negotiate their release, and then they took him in exchange, so he was on the ship during the battle and saw all that when he actually wrote, the Star-Spangled Banner. We got Jesse James. We have seen him time and time before on this stuff, but numbered out of 25. Pardon me. We will take a numbered outlaw any day of the week. Andrew Carnegie, a Pittsburgh icon. Another one, a short print, 99. That's I wish they told you what the things were. Built a massive steel empire and became one of the richest Americans in history. Then he gave most of it away. The Scottish-American Carnegie was known for vertical monopoly, controlling an entire supply chain of an industry. In the steel industry, Carnegie bought iron mines, refineries for producing steel, and railroads for shipping the steel. Additionally, he was able to crush his competition by making steel more efficiently than they did using the Bessemer process, allowing Carnegie Steel to create a rail of steel in 15 minutes that used to take 2 weeks. Well, I think that's quite the jump. Carnegie considered himself a champion for the working man, but treated his own workers poorly. Well, yes, I think all of them did back then. In 1889, Carnegie wrote The Gospel of Wealth, advocating giving wealth away, a model for today's billionaires, including Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. In 1901, Carnegie sold his steel company to J.P. Morgan for $480 million. He then spent the rest of his life giving away money, an estimated $350 million. Carnegie funded the establishment of more than 2,500 public libraries. Yeah, quite a few of them in Pittsburgh. Carnegie gave away 90% of his wealth to charities, universities, and other originations. I think that should be organizations. He still died one of history's wealthiest men. And if I remember, he donated a lot of money to, I think to MIT? I think MIT and RIT as well. He funded quite a lot of things for them. And Mary Livermore, suffragist and writer. We have not seen her yet. But there's your base. 1820 to 1905 was a prominent suffragist, abolitionist, and advocate for women's rights, known for her activism and writings on social reform. Her printed volumes included 30 Years Too Late, about women's suffrage and gender equality, and What Shall We Do with Our Daughters? How can society best support women to reach their full potential? She was also a powerful speaker, giving speeches on women's rights, abolition, and social justice. Livermore was involved in the American Woman Suffrage Association and the American Sanitary Commission. During the Civil War, Livermore organized relief initiatives, providing aid and support to Union soldiers and their families. Our social structure has been based on the theory that all men support all women, a theory which has never been true, and which is further from being true today than ever before. Poignant words right there. We're going to look at these last two. Doc Holliday, we have seen Doc before, the $2.99. Boss Tweed, saw him in an earlier one, I do remember, just because Boss Tweed is a great name. And here we have Santa's Reindeer. All right. We got Focus, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. And then that Rudolph guy came in. So let's see, and this is numbered out of 50. Clement Clark Moore, 1779 to 1863, named Santa's Reindeer for the first time in his 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, commonly known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Oh, all right, here we go. The poem also introduces the Santa's flying sleigh. Moore believed the idea of borrowed the idea of a flying sleigh from his friend, writer Washington Irving. Moore wrote the poem on a sleigh ride during a shopping trip. Rudolph, Santa's ninth reindeer, did not make his debut until a 1939 promotional booklet. Oh, so it was a while. For children was issued by the Montgomery Ward department store. Today, reindeer are tracked by NORAD. I do know that. The North American Aerospace Defense Command. So you know they are out and about, even if you miss hearing their little hooves. And then in the twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. Did not know that's where it first came from. Also did not know that that was the actual title of the poem. See the beautiful things you learn. And speaking of now, we go to the holiday pack, and we will see two short prints in various Christmassy finishes that we will put there. And let's see if we read or we just admire. Herman Melville. Call me Ishmael. Actually, I've never read Moby Dick. It's on my shelf. But this is 38 out of 64. Herman Melville was an American novelist, poet, and short story writer, best known for his ambitious masterpiece Moby Dick, an epic novel that explores themes of obsession, fate, the nature of evil, and the human condition. Melville began his novelist career with two travel adventures, Typee, which I actually have read, weirdly, and Omu, inspired by his adventures with his shipmate Richard Tobias Green after they jumped ship in the Marquesas Islands. After several less successful books not based on experience, Moby Dick was published in 1851. The novel tells the sailor Ishmael's story of Captain Ahab's obsessive quest for revenge against Moby Dick, the giant white whale that bit off his leg on the ship's previous voyage. Melville's experiences as a sailor and whaler inform his detailed descriptions of seafaring, shipboard life, and the ocean. The white whale was modeled on an albino whale, Mocha Dick. I've heard about that. Yeah, the book's ending is based on the sinking of the whale ship Essex in 1820, which actually was taken down by a large white whale. Elaborate descriptions of whaling and shipboard life are mixed with exploration of class, social status, good versus evil, and the existence of God. British critics acclaimed Moby Dick a phenomenal literary work, but in America, initial reviews were unfavorable. The book was a commercial flop. Only after Melville's death was Moby Dick recognized worldwide as a masterpiece. Isn't that always the way? And the final one, this one on the green Christmas tree, we have seen him before. The New York kind of icon, much like Carnegie is in Pittsburgh, but DeWitt Clinton, the man who basically built the Erie Canal, numbered out of 32, and once again, just a lot of fun. There we go. Let's get that focus in. I don't know what's pulling it, but I will fix that at some point. I cannot get enough of this stuff. And I'm really sad that there's only one box left, because this stuff is amazing. The base card, like I say, just the fact that the base cards, or what they would consider the base, are a print run of $2.99. Speaks enough. And the design is beautiful. I like the finishes. I like the random inserts. Although, the one thing that we're looking for. Any of those autograph highlights, I want Mo. Branch Rickey would be awesome. Any of them would be awesome, actually. But you know what? With all the stuff that we've seen of him, I think it's time for DeWitt Clinton to make an appearance, hopefully in the fourth box. That will be sometime in the near future. But until then, thank you so much. Let me know what you thought down below, because I absolutely love doing history stuff, and we will see you next time.